right, there's so much going on. One last segment for you dealing with the non-citizen migrant crisis and the Pritzker administration announcing even more state-supported, taxpayer-supported shelters for, quote, new arrivals. Welcome back, Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. And we may hear more about this with the governor today during Q&A. He's doing a bill signing ceremony, so I imagine that this announcement that came in the afternoon hours will likely get some attention. Let's go through this announcement. So here is the headline from the Pritzker administration. They announced additional state-supported shelters for new arrivals. State-supported shelters add capacity to house up to 2,000 people. And it goes on to talk about two new shelters operated as part of the city of Chicago's existing shelter system will prioritize families as they transition into independent living. This is in addition to a state-supported shelter in Little Village, bringing the total of state-supported and funded shelters, again, taxpayer-funded shelters, to around 3 with capacity for 2,000 people. The latest additions, the state says, to shelter capacity advance the state's commitment to a joint funding plan with Cook County and the city of Chicago to address the ongoing humanitarian crisis presented by the arrival of 43,000 new arrivals from the U.S. southern border. A statement from the governor says, in Illinois, we're implementing our comprehensive data-driven plan to improve our response to the ongoing humanitarian crisis and amplify the effectiveness of state, county, and city investments. The additional temporary shelter will ensure that shelter capacity and wraparound services remain accessible to asylum seeker families. Now, the governor is consistent in saying that these are asylum seekers, but are they all true asylum seekers? Again, a question that critics say is not the case. So how do you balance that with the governor's statements? But all of this is part of, $478 million, an additional $180+ million. That's all in the new fiscal year budget that starts July 1st. Those are tax dollars going into these particular operations, let alone the non-citizen migrant health care taxpayer subsidize, the welcoming centers. Altogether, it's $900 million that's expected to be spent on these issues heading into the new fiscal year that starts July 1st. But State Representative Adam Niemerg asked about this, and you can read at thecentersquare.com his thoughts. He told the Center Square that there's an issue here. He explained that legal migrants in Illinois are being put last, and that Illinois taxpayers are being put last.
If this was about compassion and humanity, they wouldn't be doing this, because we're putting Illinois citizens last. We're putting folks, veterans, homeless, folks in the inner cities that are struggling to make a living, trying to pay grocery bills, get to work every day. We're putting them last.
So State Representative Adam Niemerg concerned about the continued spending on this. And a city resident who's a legal migrant from outside of the United States raised concerns. You have this individual who's from Brazil talking about how they fought up in Chicago with the Gage Park facility and worried that they're going to see the chaos come back with these new migrant facilities. So Cassie Almeida, resident of Chicago, talking about this as well with the Center Square.
Smoking weed 24/7, being on the trees here outside, having sex in the park in front of kids and everything. I think it's a huge mistake of him trying to open more shelters.
So clearly concerns continue to rise on this issue. We'll see what the governor has to say if he's asked about it at an event in Chicago this afternoon. All right, it's Illinois in Focus. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for regular updates at America's Talking Network on YouTube. And we'll see you back here for another live edition tomorrow with Illinois in Focus Daily.